Like very niche, but I've always had this horrible fear of my appendix bursting. And one time, fully convinced that I had burst my appendix, but I just hadn't. It's honestly really annoying though, because it always happens at the worst time. And it's always like my lower right side where like your appendix does burst. So there's cause for concern for sure, but it's just never actually bursted. Like one time I thought my appendix burst and we were like at a concert in Vegas and I was like on the ground in a cheesecake factory, like. But anyways, this one time, this was back when I was 19 and I was nannying, and I was nannying at the time because I just moved to LA and modeling hadn't picked up and I needed a job. I loved these children with all my heart. They were the sweetest kids. And I showed up to work one day and my stomach was kind of hurting, but I was like, whatever, my stomach always hurts. During this time as well, I was vegan, and during the time that I was vegan, I would just eat like vegetables raw and it just would not do me well. Like I would be unwell. So I was at the house watching the kids, whatever, and I was eating a little snack, and then it got worse, like the stomach ache that I had when I got to work. That was concerning because from the research I've done, like when your appendix bursts, it's not gonna stop hurting. You need to go to the hospital. But it was progressively getting worse, and like I can't just leave the kids alone. I'm nannying them. So I was kind of freaking out, like, what do I do? Thank freaking goodness, like, the mom was a lot of times home when I would nanny. She just needed help. And so finally, like, 30 minutes later, she gets home, and I run out to her car, and I'm like, I have to go to the urgent care. Like, you guys, I was convinced. I call my mom, I get in the car, I'm freaking out. I'm like, Mom, it's happening. Like, it's finally happening. And I was a little bit relieved because I've always been scared of this. So I was like, it's just happening. The appendix is coming out. Like, we're going to do this. I go to an urgent care. My mom's like doing the insurance, trying to figure out like where our insurance is covered, all this stuff. So I'm at the urgent care waiting, like rocking back and forth in the waiting room. The doctor is like pushing on my stomach, trying to figure out like where it hurts. It's exactly where my appendix is. She's like, yep, I'm pretty sure appendix burst. She's like kneading my stomach, kind of like just making sure, like feeling around, you know, the whole usual thing that they would do. And she's like kneading it out, and all of a sudden there's this really like weird popping sound. And wouldn't you know, the second that popping sound comes, the pain goes away. The pain goes away. I'm like, what was that? Probably could guess. It was trapped gas, like really bad trapped gas. Probably because I used to eat like Brussels sprouts raw. But yeah, so that was so embarrassing. So yeah, if you're also terrified of your appendix bursting, we're in this together. I'm still terrified.